guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and I wanted to do another video about bushcraft knives today. And what I kind of want to talk about is the differences between the cheaper knives and the more expensive knives. The two that you've seen me use before, which I'm going to talk about today, are these. So on the here we have the what knife is this? This is the Mora Companion Heavy Duty, and you can pick these up, I think, for about £20 delivered if you go online. This is the Mears Bushcraft Knife, and these are currently selling, I believe, for just under £400. Now, I use both of these knives regularly, and what I kind of want to do is run through just a couple of standard tests for these, see how they perform, and really sort of work out whether or not they are any better, or the cheaper one is any better than the expensive one, or vice versa. So I hope the audio is okay here, guys. We're kind of under a quick tarp I've thrown up because the weather's turning a little bit bad today. But basically, I just want to talk about whether or not the real expensive knives are worth the additional money against the cheaper knives, and if they are, why? If they're not, why not? And just to give you my views and my thoughts on them. So what I'll do, I'm going to grab a couple of bits of wood and we'll do a couple of little tests on these and we'll see how they go. Okay guys, so I've got a couple of little offcuts of birch here. Obviously, as you know, this area is abundant with it, which is why I use it so much. And what I kind of wanted to start off with was just to take a random piece of birch or random piece of wood and just test whether or not these knives will batten a small round like this. So I'm going to use the Mears Bushcraft first of all, and we'll just see how we get on with battening through. There you go, 2 hits, we're straight through. And again, I can get this to stand upright. Probably can. So again, absolutely no problem. This is green wood. I mean, you can see hopefully on the camera here this is still wet. This is very fresh. I cut it this morning from a recently fallen tree, and to be honest, you know, I wasn't expecting anything different. Now what I want to move over to is the Mora Companion. Now it's a slightly smaller blade, it's definitely a thinner blade, though I've battened with this before and I don't suspect it's going to have any problems. So there you go, straight away, 2 hits, absolutely no real or noticeable difference between its ability to batten wood like this. And there we go. So to start off with, move this camera around a little bit. So we've done one test, battening with both knives. They've both performed, in my opinion, and you know, you can judge this for yourself on the video. They've both performed almost identically. So I would certainly be happy to say that both knives are you know, almost identical in this respect. What I'll do, I'm going to zoom the camera in a little bit more, and I just want to try sort of shaving with the knife, basically, you know, sort of almost like a feather stick kind of affair with one of these bits we've battened, and just to see how they both perform with sort of fine cutting. Right guys, so first test is again going to be with the Mears Bushcraft, and I just want to sort of, you know, shave down a little bit on here and see what kind of shavings we're going to get with this knife. Okay, so that should do us for now, but you can see here, you know, these are very, very thin shavings. You know, there's plenty of them. It wouldn't take long to get a good couple of feather sticks going, ready to light a fire with this. Again, not unexpected with this knife. Those of you that have seen it before or know about it will know that this is, you know, it's certainly one of the things this knife is designed for. And what we'll do, we'll move over to the Mora. And again, personally, I'm not really expecting much of a difference between these two knives, but obviously the test will tell. So again, a really nice lot of fine shavings. Took about the same amount of time. You know, if I compare these two together, you know, I'll let you be the final judge, but I certainly don't see any difference between these two. You know, and these are, you know, almost identical knives as far as cutting ability is concerned, as far as I'm concerned. But I'll zoom out a little bit and we'll go to another test. Right then guys, so another thing I always look for in a bushcraft knife is the ability to strike sparks off of a fire steel. Now I've done a couple of videos on these already, and I think I may have even used these knives, but for the purpose of this video, just to prove the point, so to speak. So here's my bog standard fire steel, here is the Mora. And we're getting a reasonable amount of sparks off of there. The one thing I did find with this knife when I bought it, the spine wasn't particularly well finished, and I have heard of others having the same problem. It took me maybe 2 minutes with one of my sharpening stones just to sharpen off the back of the spine, just to get it a nice 90-degree angle. The Mora, the Mears Bushcraft. Again, I don't know if you can see this on the camera very well. There are a few more sparks with the Mears. Certainly not enough to say that it's, you know, that much better. But there, you know, the Mears does produce a few more sparks, so that's just probably worth noting. So really, in conclusion, let me move this camera a little bit. So in conclusion, these knives, one you can pick up for about £20, the other almost 400. Is one knife better than the other? Is the Mears Bushcraft knife worth, you know, over £350 more than the Mora? To be honest, there's two answers to that question in my opinion. If I'm having a purely logical, practical head-on, then no. It's not worth that money. You know, when you consider you can buy the Mora, whether it's the standard companion, the heavy duty as I have, you know, nearly all of the Mora knives are sort of a similar price. I think the most expensive one they do at the moment goes up to about £60 or £70. And they are absolutely great bushcraft knives. They do a really good job, and certainly if you're on a budget, then you know, I would recommend them wholeheartedly. The Mears Bushcraft knife is a lovely knife, don't get me wrong, and this is where my second opinion comes in. Would I, in hindsight, still have bought the Mears Bushcraft knife? Well, in theory, yes, I actually would. And the reason being, and some people will agree with this and some people won't, how can I put this? There's something about a well-made tool. That's not to say the Mora isn't well-made, but there is a stark difference between the feel of the Mears Bushcraft while it's in your hand, while you're using it. It's a very heavy, solid knife. You know, the way it's been put together, the attention to detail, the finishes. It's kind of like the difference between, you know, a standard family saloon and something like a super sports car or something like that. That's probably not the best comparison because the cars will obviously be better than each other and do things better than they will. But to be honest, they're both brilliant knives. If you're someone like me who is happy to spend money on something that is maybe a little bit unnecessary, but you want it regardless, then the Mears knife is absolutely great. If you're somebody who's either working on a budget or just doesn't want to spend extortionate amounts of money on something that you don't feel is going to benefit you in any way, then the Mora again is absolutely brilliant. So these two knives, I would be happy, well, obviously I own both of them, but I would be happy to take either one of these out, whether it was a day trip, a weekend, a week or 2 week long trip. I'm comfortable that both knives will perform and do exactly what I want them to. And to be honest, they are both good knives. I'll let you make your own opinions and draw your own conclusions about what you want personally. If you have the money and you want to spend it, go with the Mears. If you don't have the money, or again you don't want to spend that sort of money, go with the Mora. You're going to be getting a very, very similar knife regardless of which one you buy. However, for me personally, I'm happy to have spent the money on this. It does have a certain feel in your hand. It does feel slightly better made, but I would have no reservations about using this one either. I hope that was helpful, guys. By all means, leave some comments below if you've got any questions, if you want me to see me doing anything else with these knives or anything else. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers, guys.